Hello there, this is an episode about the bus ride. This is almost the fourth time I'm recording it. Like, if I told you guys the amount of interference I'm experiencing, when I came back from Saudi, I had struggles of understanding what was happening. Because I knew something was off, I could look at people and I would tell even my family, like, you are all so weird. I could tell things were happening that I couldn't understand. There are videos I took then, which I deleted because to me they appeared like I was possessed. That is the correct term to use. They scared even me. It was a scary time for me because I didn't understand. I felt like I had gone to a satanic place. Things that were happening to me, the way I know, the only things I have been exposed to were coming out like satanic. So I was scared. I remember I would speak into the phone and my face would twitch and I would look like I'm possessed. There was scary stuff. And to say that these things have gone down is a lie. I am just getting sick of complaining about the same things over and over again because I would like for my life to move forward. There are things I have known that I cannot unknow. So it is changing a lot of my relationships mostly with my family. I have strained relationships. I don't know how I'm going to work out this, but I've been realizing that my silence has been making my suffering worse. And since I have learned so much from girls, even before I went there, I want my story to help someone out there. And I feel like I have suffered so much to get the information I'm giving right now. Like, I'm within my right to share it, but as you can see, I am being troubled. Even as I record this, I don't know how many of you might enjoy this. Because sometimes I feel like I'm talking to the same person, no matter where I go, no matter who I meet. No matter if I meet 100 people, I feel like I'm talking to the same person. There's one person that I met in Saudi, has been following me everywhere. That is how I feel. And if I explain this to people, they tell me I'm being psychiatric. And since you can see, I'm being able to record all this, I'm being able to conduct myself, it is funny that someone would call me psychiatric. And I avoid exaggerating some situations because I am risking being taken to the hospital by force. I'm risking going to Mathare. So I'm toning it down. But the way I'm presenting myself doesn't even equal to the things I have seen. I have seen things. I have known things. I am a girl with a lot of information that I don't know what to do with it. I have lost the plot of my life. I don't know why the whole experience was, because sometimes I get it was about marriage. Sometimes I get like my life had come to an end. And that's why I keep telling you guys, if you see Saudi coming close to you, my guys, you are in a terrible space. I don't know what you're doing, but you are killing yourself with hopelessness. Because I realized, and as I was given a lot of diagnoses, and I was called so many names, depressed, what, I realized maybe, yes, I was at a point in my life where I was feeling hopeless. If you have been a hustler like me, and it's almost 9 years after graduation and you did well in school, and most of your life, your number one aim was to be independent, and that is what is being frustrated, then I think you get depressed. If you are a performer out there, anyone who is my classmate out there and can relate to my struggles, I am sure depression is something that you might battle. Now, apart from the stresses of recording this and sharing this, I am not even sure who is going to watch this. Sometimes I feel so controlled. I know so many things about life, about existence, about supernatural beings, about life after, because I have been to the life after, and man, I'm a scared girl. I have walked this world feeling alone and seeing aliens with my own eyes. and I couldn't scream or run because if you know me, I'm one hell of a courageous girl, and the fact that I even came back home from that place, I am a courageous woman. I have fought battles that if they were put on your screens, mungenitambua. But that is my battle, and I'm grateful for it. And I'm learning, and some of the lessons that are helpful, I'm going to share to them. There's some of the information I will not be able to give to you. It will not make sense ever, and it is okay. So this is for the information that will make sense to you, and also I want to share my experience so that you get where I'm coming from. So after waiting for hours, this is the episode on the bus ride. I hope this works out. Actually, I am hopeful. Now, you have followed the way I stayed uko kwa waiting room for bus station. The way people used to scare me and telling me, oh, maybe your sponsor changed their mind. Imagine, you're in a place where girls die all the time, and someone is telling you, mi ni sana nilikuwa na imagine. Sasa kama amechange mind, nitaanza wapi, nitamalizia wapi? Place. Although sasa hata nilikuwa nimerudishiwa passport. And I was more worried when I didn't have my passport in hand because I was wondering, now what would I do in a new country without a passport? So anyway, my Indian nice guy who had calmed me down called me now. It was time to board the bus. He helped me with my bags. I boarded the bus. I was a bit relieved now. He made me calm, actually. All I needed was information. If you're a thinker like me, or a person who loves being informed, then, information is power. Everybody knows this. And this is why I don't joke with information. This is why I love my curiosity, because my curiosity saved me from that place. I love the way I'm observant, because if it was not for my observant eye, I would have suffered even more than I suffered then. So it is not wrong to look a little more. It is not wrong to ask the extra question. It is not wrong to want an explanation to what you feel doesn't go well with you. And that is why I'm having a lot of trouble with life. Apparently, you're not supposed to ask questions. Yeah, I'm asking questions that are hard and tough, and some people are telling me there are no answers for what I'm asking, and it is troubling me. Anyway, we shall allow me to rant, because I have been under a terrible space for 2 years, and this is the time I'm getting to express myself. So allow me to rant into your ears, so that also if you ever have a similar experience, you know who to reach. Because I've been looking for people who can relate with my story, and there's none. I feel alone. Sometimes I tell my family what I'm going through, and they're like, now what do we do? I'm feeling like I don't get the help I need. So I'm sharing this out there so that kama uko nje and you feel the same way I'm feeling, and maybe we went there and you're feeling the same way, we can help each other. Reach out. And also just giving out information so that another girl because I was looking for advice here on the internet when I was making the decision to go. I know when that time comes, I may not be able to influence the decision so much, but having some bit of information in life, because the information, the bits and pieces I got from girls here on the internet, on YouTube, helped me a lot with dealing with my stresses out there. I'm on the bus. I took my small snacks. Mind you, when I picked my snacks, because they were really small, and I was, depending on the information I had, I was going to travel for 6 hours only. The person who had taken me to the bus station was like, are you sure? And he was speaking in Arabic, so I was depending on my intuition to get what he was saying. So I got like he was saying, are you sure that is enough? And I was like, yeah. In my head, I was like, it's going to be 6 hours. I don't want to eat much. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. I'm not even hungry by the moment, because all my senses were up and haywire. Like, I was like, guy, this is how my start has started here. And I know how girls tell stories there, and I was worried. I was like, guys, sasa yangu imeanza hivi itaisha aje. I was edgy, anxious, everything. Fear had started to creep into me. Anyway, so I bought the bus with my small snacks. This man should have told me those snacks are not enough. This man that took me to the bus station should have given me information that the bus ride was going to be more than 6 hours. This man should have told me, like, some information, guys. I was not being given information, and that is why I think the whole Saudi experience is to stress you out. I was stressed out. Personally, for me, I feel like that person, my sponsor knew me. They know you very well. I keep telling you this, guys. These people know you well. They're waiting for you very well. And the reason most girls feel hacked is because they keep telling you things that only a person who knows you very well in private can tell you. So I think this person knew I am one person who loves information, and I was being deprived of that purposefully to start my stressing journey. You're stressed according to, all of us come with different manuals, so they know you well. You're going to stress, to be stressed according to, it is a place of stress. It's a place of, you're just going there to be tortured. You're going there to be taught a lesson. I don't know which lesson, but as I finish my series of my experience, you'll see I learned my lessons. I'm good. And if I can save a girl from learning a lesson that horribly, I'll do these episodes with all the might I can. It doesn't matter if I'll have to do them 10 times. I'll do them. Because I have learned so many lessons in a bad way, in a horrible way. I have been terrified, I've been traumatized, and I have found that whole experience unnecessary. So for you girls, for my girls, because I love you, for a girl out there who will meet this story and it will save you from, and I'm not saying this is my experience, not everyone gets the same experience, but to be honest, if you are in Saudi, you are risking, it's the risk, you're risking death. I am not shy to tell you this because I've experienced it myself. You're risking death, you're risking getting insane, you're risking your life getting interfered with. It's a risk. It is a risk that is not worth taking. So as a reminder, I'm telling you, I don't know what you're struggling with that is making you feel like Saudi is the solution, but I hope this encourages you to keep at your craft, to keep struggling. Struggles are for a while, then you find your path eventually. And even if it means, because why I went to Saudi is because I was shy of trying many things. Nilikuwa naona nimesoma sana, singejaribu hata kuuza mayai. And that is lesson number 1. Don't, as an educated person, do not let your education be the thing that makes you fail in life. Don't let it hold you back. If it doesn't work out, open your mind to other possibilities. I have seen people in kwa soko wamejenga manyumba yenye hata mtu ameandikwa kwa ofisi hajaijenga. Open your mind. Don't let your mind be closed. That is lesson number 1. So, anyway, nobody told me the bus ride was going to be long. Me, I sit with my snacks. I enjoy the bus ride. I take videos, I take pictures of the place, which I'm going to share at the end of this because I still have them. Take pictures of everything anyway. You never know. So the bus ride kicks on. We travel. Night comes in. I was sure because I had read from my contract, I was going to a place called Riyadh. The names were not very specific because it was in Arabic, but I had seen Riyadh somewhere in English, and it was written some district somewhere, so I didn't understand much then. Some things you need to be there to understand, but I knew I was going to a place called Riyadh. Riyadh, I think, is the capital city. It's the capital of Saudi. I knew it was a city. My guys, from all the research I had done back home, I knew, and I was praying that I do not go to a rural place. A rural place was the places they keep sheep, goats, and stuff. Because that's where I had seen, like, from my analysis, that's where most girls died. That's why there was most cruelty. So when I heard I was going to Riyadh, it was a city, I was excited. So 6 hours inaisha, naona signboard signage kwa road zimeanza kusema Riyadh, so I'm like excited. I'm starting to pick my bags. I even eat my remaining snacks quickly. Juu nimefika. Only when the bus stops and I make like I'm alighting, the driver is like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, isn't this Riyadh? This is where I'm going. And he's like, calm down, sit there. I will tell you when you arrive. Another shock. I'm like, in my mind it was 6 hours. This dude didn't tell me I was going to, like, I noticed I was not, I told you, they know you, so they had started to kutesa me with lack of information. I love information. Anybody who knows me, I love information. So anyway, I settle down again, I sit, my snacks zimeisha, so I'm like, okay, let me see where the journey takes me. I already came, I'm already here. Now, as I was going along my journey, I noticed something. When I thought in the bus, hata huku Kenya buses in a Wi-Fi. My number one target when I was going to Saudi was Wi-Fi. Why? I told you before I went, I was working on my trading journey. And although I had met a lot of challenges in it, I was just starting out and I was willing to make it grow. So I was like, if I go to Saudi and obviously the Arabs, they're rich, in my head is like, Arab money. I know the Lamborghinis, the what, the gold, the what. That was what was in my head. So I was like, there are no poor Arabs, like internet was going to be everywhere. Even from the girls I had seen all over the internet, they were saying they had free access to Wi-Fi. Now, the bus didn't have Wi-Fi. I was missing to tell my family, hey, I was missing to speak to someone and tell them how anxious I was. There was no way of communication. I even tried to buy, I had some money in my M-Pesa. From here back, from the agent office, they had told me I could use M-Pesa in Saudi. That was what I was told. So I was safe. I had money in M-Pesa. I was going to use it. So, distractions. Everything makes sense to me. Every person that speaks is communicating to me. I'm getting messages all the time. It's exhausting. So I have been distracted anyway. Let's continue. I do not want to make my life the centerpiece of everything, and I love for it to continue. And I want only to share what is important. I want my story to matter because I feel overlooked all my life. I feel like I put in a lot of work only to be passed. I'm the child who, I got the good grades and nobody even cared. That was my thing. But anybody else improved and we would spend the whole night speaking about their grades. I'm the one person who nothing mattered. I feel overlooked all the time. I was deprived of attention growing up. I was only criticized most of the time, and it's not a lie. That is my experience from where I'm the one who have lived my life. So I want something to matter to me. I have this whole Saudi experience, which I had gone to do a lot of research, and I'm being threatened. There are threats. People are passing by and giving me threats, and having almost died. Everything, I feel unsafe. Honestly, guys, I feel unsafe. I feel unsafe even sharing my story because there are revelations I've known, and this is why it is becoming problematic to share my story. I even don't know how far it is going to reach, but anyway, I'm sharing my story. It doesn't matter. I'm used to not getting attention, and this is not an attention-seeking video. This is an information sharing out of love, out of a lot of struggle thing. I'm just sharing this information to save a girl somewhere, even if it is one girl, because Saudi is not a joke. The way you see girls being brought back in coffins, we already know. We have already known for a long, long time Saudi is not a joke. And I know why. And because I know why, everything is becoming something. My devices are not working. This device of mine with a lot of memory has not been working, and it is full. There's a lot of interference everywhere, and because I know who I'm dealing with, it's okay. I'm just asking, please, can I be allowed to share my experience? I deserve it. I have worked for it. And for once in my life, allow me to have something. Ninakuanga nikinyimwa nasikianga, and that's why I'm depressed, my guys. I feel like I'm deprived of everything I have ever worked for. My papers never work for me. I know I'm a good employee. I never get, even in terms of payment, I never get anything that reflects the amount of work I have put in life. And that's why I always feel like life is playing me. And this always leads to me getting depressed. That is my struggle. So anyway, I hope I'll be allowed to share this story. So I settled down, my guys. I settled down. Safari inaendelea. Shida ni safari inaendelea zaidi. And I was telling you now that I was getting scared. I don't know where I'm going. The information I had with me that was making me feel safer is no longer there. I don't know. I don't have nothing working for me. I'm solely depending on the driver now. I have no information. That is a alarm for me. It's a red flag. So I even tried to buy money, some airtime from my phone, from my M-Pesa, so that I can call back home. As it was in the room. I remember the only person who somehow got through to me, and it was a text, it was my bigger sister. And remember, my bigger sister and now we are having issues with her because I'm like feeling like she's the one who took me to Saudi. Her connections, the one I had been sending my CVs to, connected me to this job. No, she's the only one person who was able to communicate to me and ask me, have you arrived? I was like, I even lied because in my head I was like, I didn't want them to get scared because I had not arrived where I was going, and it was almost the second day after landing in Saudi. Yani the wait was extra long. Nobody's giving you information. Yani I'm just there, scared, anxious, and everything. So I told her, yes, I can't even remember. Most of my information got wiped out. My WhatsApp got blocked. So many things that could help me tell this story better, I don't have them. There's so much interference, my guys. So anyway, I think I told her, yeah, I had something. I don't know if I told her I was in a bus or somewhere, but I know I didn't want to scare anyone, so I was like, I'm okay. But all I realized was how, I noticed like they were indifferent. Even after I could get internet, it was always hard to communicate to them. Yeah, they were somehow laid back. And knowing where I was, like, I knew if it was me, ningekuwa na call mara 10 kuuliza uko sawa, kuko aje, kunaendaje, I felt like I was the one who was making the effort to look for them, like not the other way around. Like they were like wametosheka niko huko. So sometimes I'm battling with them, like telling them they took me there. And that is the revelation I'm getting, because these things are spiritual. Going to Saudi is spiritual. It's a fight. It's a spiritual fight. If you have reached a point where you're going to Saudi, you're a person who fights a lot spiritually in your mind. That's what I have learned. So stay tuned to keep learning these things. Anyway, I felt like they were not communicating enough. I felt like they were not looking for me enough. I felt like if it was me in their shoes, I would have been doing more to check on me. You get me? You feel me? So anyway, I put that aside and said, okay, mimi ndio nilikuja, hii ni jani yangu, mimi ndio niliamua, wacha nipambane nayo. We travel, my guys, we travel. It's past 6 hours. We are on the road to Meenda, bus stops here and there. The one thing that stood out for me throughout the journey was how cold I was. I'm glad I had even carried a blanket from the airplane. And I remember a man laughing at us girls who had carried a blanket from the airplane. He was like, when you wanabeba hizo ni wenye wajai fly out. And I was like, oh, I don't mind. It was my first flight. I don't mind how I looked. I was going to enjoy it. My first flight, I love that blanket. And it helped me a lot throughout the journey because it was such a cold journey. So nilikuwa naona watu wakishuka huko wanaenda wanabuy something hot, and I was like, man, I have never looked at something to drink or eat like that with. I was feeling like I was getting punished. And know from some of the videos I had watched were of girls that were being deprived of food, and I was like, guys, mateso imeanza already. And I was like, ooh. So when I alighted the first stop, I thought my money in the M-Pesa would help me. And the vendors I met there, and they were being stern, like, kuna vile wanakuongelesha unaogopa. And I was like, oh, we don't use no M-Pesa, no, because I'm trying to speak any language. Nilikuwa naona kama English. Okay, I love English. Hiyo ndio nilikuwa naongea sana na naona tunaelewana. So nikagundua kumbe hawatumii M-Pesa. Wakaniambia kama ningekuwa na cash ya Kenya, cash, ningesaidika. But sikuwa na cash, nilikuwa tu na pesa kwa M-Pesa. So as a lesson to anyone, not even traveling, anyone traveling to a new country, the bureaus there exchange some cash and have something for that, the currency for that country you're going to. It is going to help. Not only Saudi Arabia. That is something I purpose to say here, because niliteseka juu sikuwa na pesa ya huko, sikuwa na any money, singe buy anything, njaa imeanza kuniingia, baridi ndio hiyo sana, shangani niongee na nani, nifanye nini. Nikasema wacha nivumilie. Mimi am one person napenda kuvumilia, so I was like okay, wacha nivumilie. Nikavumilia, basi bado inaenda. Nikavumilia, njaa ndio hiyo. Yani sijai, ukiona waamua kibeg, mimi waamua nikibeg, basi nimefika mwisho. Njaa ilikuwa imenipata ile serious. I couldn't withstand it anymore. So I went to the driver and I was like, hey, I'm so hungry. Like, I'm so hungry. I can't even explain how hungry I was. And though I have some money in M-Pesa, wanakataa kuchukua, they can't take money from M-Pesa. And how do you help me kindly? I'm so hungry. And he was like, okay, settle down. When we go to the next stop, I'll make sure you eat. And I was like, okay, thank you, God bless. And sure, when he stopped for the next stop, he got me some rice and roasted chicken. And I didn't know, my guys, that was going to be my food for the next 9 months. Every day. Lunch and supper. Okay, they don't even eat supper, mostly lunch. That was going to be my food for 9 months. Daily, on a daily. It is, they call it Rose and Tijaj. That was another thing I had to really get used to. Before I jump ahead of the story, I was introduced to Dijaj and Rose, the staple food of Arabs, every single day. It's called kapsa. The whole meal is called kapsa. Yeah. I was introduced to kapsa for this. Kapsam, I don't know. I can't remember well. For the first time, and it was great. It was really well made. I enjoyed it. And for a hungry person, I was grateful. And it was a lot. I kept eating it throughout my journey until sasa tungefika. We traveled throughout the night, my guys, bado hatujafika. Morning imeingia and I take more videos. I'm an adventurous person. I had already forgotten my troubles of the journey. I enjoy taking pictures here and there. I'll share them as I continue to share my story. So, the morning imeingia. Karais kangu kalipoa, but bado nilikuwa nikisikia njaa na kamanchi na kunywa tu maji, bado nilikuwa nimepewa na driver. So I'm wondering, kwani hatufiki? This journey was feeling like it was forever. Man, forever. Anyway, I even sleep again. Kausingizi kalikuwa kameshika, so nikasikia nimeamshwa. Kuamka nikaangalia kwenye tuko, it was like a middle of nowhere. Hapa ndio naambiwa nishuke. Nikashuka. Kushuka nimengojewa na an Arab guy who was almost my age. Na alikuwa na smile well, lakini he had silver teeth up and down. So to me that looked weird. I didn't understand what kind of teeth were those, but they were scary. Saa hii ndio na understand. When I settled down, ndio nilikuwa najua okay, they were silver, because after I knew him well, he had perfect teeth like mine. I think it's something they put on. I don't know. He had silver teeth, my guy, and he was smiling like this. I was like, what? What the hell is that? They scared me. He still scared me. So yeah. Anyway, I liked. It was near a petrol station. Yeah. And this guy was in a pickup, an old school pickup that looked like it was carrying fodder for sheep. And I'm like, my God. Oh my. The places I had feared the most is where I came. So I'm telling you guys, these people know you very well. Yeah, like the person who was following my story was like giving me that which I was fearing the most was what was being served to me live and direct. Also remember, the reason why I had solely gone to Saudi was like, I also decided like, okay, apart from knowing all those things I was curious about, I was like, I wanted to go see how rich people live. Like, you hear Arabs, you see money, you see gold, you know there's oil, you know, okay, all that. But the reality of the place I alighted was like, it was a rural area and it was a low income area. From even the structures around, I was like, guy, even as we were going, I was like praying, guy, mimi Mungu mtu sikuwe tunaosha na mikono juu hata kwa ofisi nilikuwa naambia kuna machine. And that's why, that was one of the point of the decisions I decided to be a mboch. So I was like, guy, nitakuwa mboch, nitakuwa naosha na mikono. Like, life was beating me thoroughly. Like, I was starting to see the reality of the decision I had made, and I was starting to regret. But I held down. I was like, tunaoshanga huku nguo na mkono, sijai kufa. Na kama life imenipeleka imenifikisha hapo ndio iko, then nitangangana nayo. I don't know, people keep saying negativity took me to Saudi, and I keep wondering, okay, maybe I was negative because there are so many things that were happening to me I was not understanding, and I was crying to God about them. One of them was work. And remember, guys, before I got the call from Saudi, remember I had gone to church, and that Sunday the pastor had preached about providence, and he had said even those without jobs, God will provide jobs for them. Like, now that I can relate so many stories together, I can put 1 and 2 together, and that's how I'm living right now. And that's why I know so many things. I know the future, I know the past, I know what is going to happen in many things are not getting me by surprise. I can see them coming. I live like a prophet. And that's why I'm saying Saudi is a spiritual place. That's why we'll continue dissecting this, because we are on the bus ride. Anyway, my guy with the silver teeth welcomes me, picks my bag, and anipandisha. We go. As all this was happening in my mind, I'm worrying in my mind. I'm like, guy, woi, mi nisikuwe naosha na mkono. Anyway, I was like, whatever happens. Let me see how this story goes. I was feeling like I'm in the movies, my guys. I was excited. I was feeling adventurous anyway. I was going to make the most out of my Saudi experience. That's what I decided. And also I was telling myself, okay, you know, as a person who knows me, okay, when watu wananijua, kwenda kwangu Saudi ilikuwa inanifinyilia juu najua my capabilities, I know my value. I know maybe life ilikuwa imenisukuma singeona other possibilities, but I knew deep down nilikuwa najifanyia disadvantage, you see. So it was still a battle I was doing. So hata nikienda huko, remember the time I told you nilikuwa nimevaa t-shirt juu ile ya waka wa huko ikainulemishwa, that was a blow. Then I came like I was like ntawatisha. I would come, look like I was doing some journalism undercover thing, because I also wanted to find out what was wrong with this Saudi. So I was like, okay, I'm not a maid, I'm an undercover agent. That's what I was telling myself to psych myself up. Anyway, this guy takes me, we have a short ride, tunafika kwa hao. I'm welcomed by a mom, an elderly. She was a bit elderly. I could tell, like, in her 70s. And she had a special son who was almost my age. I would continue to know them well. They welcomed me and picked my back, and I was like, okay. Because I read people's energy, I was like, okay, they looked like good people. The way even they welcomed me, so I was like a bit calm. Nikakaribishwa, nikaonyeshwa nyumba, nikapelekwa mahali kwa room yangu. It was a nice room at least, because I have seen worse. I have seen girls having terrible worse conditions, so I thank God. And I even from my communication, although my WhatsApp got deleted, that WhatsApp I used in Saudi, iliblokiwa. I kept telling my family I felt comfortable with where I was. They looked like good people. At the time, they looked like good people. So nimekaribishwa, kukaka, another lady comes in. I learned she was the daughter to the mom. Ananionyesha mahali kwa kupack vitu zangu, I pack. I remember some of my things had been taken from the airport, and I was feeling bad, and I was like, okay. I was not worried because we had been told, ukienda huko, they take care of everything. You even don't buy anything for yourself. Like, anything you want, for your personal care, they provide. So I was like, okay, vitu zimechukuliwa, but I was told that most of the girls who had preceded me, wenye tulikuwa naona walikuwa washaenda mbele yangu, walikuwa wananiambia mtu alikaribishwa, the next day ameshaletewa vitu ziko hapo. So hata mimi nilikuwa nangoja vitu niletewe. So I was not worried, although some of the best products I had, my favorite products I had carried had been taken away. So I was like, okay, if you know me, unajua kuna tu vitu pia unapenda, tu yenye unasikianga ukiwa na watu unasikia fiti. Anyway, I was not worried because I knew they were going to wataniletea, nitakaribishwa na niletewa hizo vitu tuliniambiwa na provide. So I packed my things. They were speaking Arabic. I was wondering how it was going to work out because it was tough. I think they need to introduce, if there is a lot of intervention that is needed, if for me, if I'm asked, if the relationship between the girls going to Saudi is going to continue, but if I were to be asked, and if the Saudi people are being honest, I think it is wrong for a girl to be taken to Saudi. Well, if the Saudi people are really caring for the girl, if they care about the girl, then it is wrong, ni marufuku kwa watu kukanyaga huko. And even I was learning from so many things I was researching, that did you know people never used to step in Saudi? You had to apply for a special invitation. Who apply and ukanyage Saudi the earlier years. And even now, the people who go there are maids, mostly. People are going to work as maids. That's why those are people who go. So it's a special place, honestly. Even from the way it has been treated from earlier places. Even, look, at Dubai, when you unaenda, they have so many rules. The Arabs have so many, like 1 million of rules. Of don't. Now I understood why. So anyway, I'm just saying, a lot of intervention is needed if girls have to continue to work in Saudi. This is from my take as a person who is suffering from having been a worker there. If they are really being honest, they need to give more than they do to protect the girl, because the girl is not protected. Everything, even from the contract, is about the sponsor. There's nothing about you, and you're also going to work there. You see? So I think so much intervention is needed for that relationship to continue. But if it was me to be asked, mimi ningeitoa, watu wangekuwa naenda Saudi hata siku moja. Anyway, mimi nimejionea vitu and it has been tough. If you see me sharing a story that nilikuwa nasikia inaniweka shame, if I have gotten through over my shame, it's because the trauma has become too much. And I feel it is important if I share my story because mtu atasaidika nayo. So anyway, I was speaking about someone who should have introduced us to some Arabic, because communication is a problem. These people are purely speaking Arabic. So you are purely depending on your intuition to get what they are saying. Plus, pia, remember I was telling you, pia nilienda kwa nyumba yenye haina wifi. Remember I was targeting wifi juu nilikuwa like, nikimaliza kazi yangu hivi, naingia trading class. Ama naanza trading zangu, naweka ma trade, naendelea na kusoma trading yangu. I was going to do 2 things concurrently. That was my aim. Hii nyumba pia haikuwa na wifi. Notice how wifi is missing everywhere. It is not an accident. It is not an accident. I told you these people are preparing for you from your home. That's why I'm telling you, your thoughts are taking you to Saudi. Here, the way you think. So that's why I want to advise you so that you avoid thoughts that are going to make Saudi be an option for you, my girls. Yeah. So anyway, as they spoke Arabic, and I was depending on my intuition, and also Arabic. There's so much Swahili in Arabic. So if you're a Swahili speaker, it is easier for you to get them. So kama saa in Swahili, representing time ni saa. It's time. They say saa uko saa tisa, saa saba. So it's like Swahili. So they were telling me I'm allowed to sleep up to a certain time. Then they would make me up and now orient me. My guys, I was trying to sleep. I remember I recorded one video to explain to my family the turmoil I had gone through to reach there. And I couldn't wait to get connected to the internet. Niwaambie something. Anyway, the energies of these people are giving me good vibes, so I was like calm a bit and I tried to sleep. I slept kidogo and then I was woken up. I was woken up. I was shown up on nguo, they were to provide you with everything. But in this home, hawakuwa na uniform. I was wearing the deras. So I was given deras, I think, and I was thinking it was from another girl who had preceded me. So I wore this dera. I went to the sitting room and they started questioning me. They were questioning me. And me, I'm a happy person. I always believe the best from people. I give too much information because I honestly don't see why you have an ill motive with the information I give you. So I was giving information freely and a lot and with my whole heart, with an open heart. And that is a mistake number 2. Told you mistake number 1 is to go hugging Arabs anyhow. Yeah, those people don't even meet. They don't see the faces of their lovely ladies and you are there hugging them. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Don't go hugging Arabs, no matter how distressed you are. Don't go hugging Arabs. Keep your distance. That's how, the culture. I think girls should be really educated on the culture. Or maybe it is my me problem, because me problem is like I'm always looking for the best in every situation. I also want to be in control of the situation. I was like, there are people. I know their rules, but I was willing. I was like, I also want to introduce myself to their environment. So anyway, I forgot rule number 2. My mind keeps. They also control the mind. Don't joke with these people. It keeps creeping. So forgive me. Anyway, I was saying, giving too much information. Don't give too much information to these people. The lesser you speak, the better for you. Anyway, they were asking too much information about my family, and I was truly out. I was out giving it all. Always me, Sionangi. I always believe the best from people. Anyway, after a while, a gentleman comes in. They greet each other. And Arabs kiss a lot. They were like, and I was like, okay. So I was like, no, that is the husband to the lady who came, because she was the one who was getting the most kisses. And I was like, okay, let me see these things, how they go. But I later learned he was the brother. He was not the husband. And he was a lovely gentleman. I liked him. The first gentleman who I met was very stern. This one was friendly. And I was like, hey, sir. So I was like, okay. They're all speaking Arabic. They introduced myself. And I noticed they didn't like me saying I'm Beth, because that's anyone who knows me, I go by the name Beth. Beth, I later learned in Arabic means something like egg. And I don't know why they were against the egg. They hated that name. So they settled for Shira. If you're on my WhatsApp, that's what I used to call my name. Shira with an S. Although my father's name is Shira with a C. I introduced myself as Shira, and that's what they took. And they said they would like to call me Shira. And later on, Shira in Arabic means sweet. Means sugar. Skari. Something sweet. You also know, anyone who have met me knows I'm hell of a Shira. I'm sweet. I deserve those jokes because I have gone through it. If you see me joking like this, and you are given some of the videos, I wish I never deleted them, because at the time they were scary. I wish I kept them so that you could see the level of disturbance I was dealing with. Anyway, I thank God I'm whole and alive and I'm okay, and I have dealt with all those traumas, and I'm able to share with you my story. So anyway, this gentleman introduces himself. I like him. He's lively. He's not as stern as the first one I met. I was like, okay, here, if these are going to be my bosses, because I was curious about my bosses, because you have to know your bosses and know what you're preparing for. So all the people I had met so far were nice and friendly, and I felt at home. The man oriented me and showed me around. He's the one who showed me how to use the washing machine, and as he opened the bathroom and I saw a washing machine, I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God! He showed me how to use it. He was very lovely, and I was grateful. For the first time ever in my life, I used a washing machine, and I knew that in Saudi. So the man introduces me. He shows me around. He shows me what I'm expected to do. And let me tell you, for those who are in Saudi will confirm this, the biggest work you do in Saudi is to wash the toilets. Those are the key. The toilets. kuna za ndani na za nje. Those are the key things you wash in Saudi. And now that I've understood why the toilets represent what, hey, ni sawa, I washed my toilet, so can I have my break? My sponsor, I washed the toilets with the whole of my heart. You are there. Can I get the break I deserve? I washed the toilets. I washed the bathrooms with all my heart, and they were shining. I made them better than I left them better than I met them. I cleaned them clean. Can I get the break I deserve? Because you people are disturbing my peace. And I keep wondering, how do you people live there in Saudi? No, you are just there and you have disturbed my life so badly. I don't know what I ever did, but okay, I'm realizing my mistake daily. And okay, I have accepted it. I'll take what I can, I'll change what I can, and I'll share what I can when I can. So I've been introduced, I've been shown what is expected of me. Nimeonyeshwa kwenye nitakuwa naosha. Usiku inaingia, wakaniintroducea food. Wanakula tuna, some canned food, dates, cheese. Man, I did not like cheese. I only ate what I could that time, but I didn't. Sikutoka kani nimependa tuna, sikutoka kani nimependa cheese, na hizo vitu zao canned. I'm so choosy, and it was making them angry. Always, I don't know. I'm very choosy with food. Sikuweza kukula, so I'm like, guy, tena nimeanza na food. Sijui nita-adapt aje na sijapenda hizi food zao. Anyway, that was my first day at Saudi as a housemaid. Keep tuned. Allow me to rant and say the lessons as they come to my head, because it has been a journey, it has been an experience. I hope it lights your path. I hope it makes you feel good. I hope it gives you the warning you need. I hope it gives you the advice you need if you and Saudi ever meet like this. Stay tuned.